Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast, Field Goals and Forecast, presented by Afterthought Sports, now live on WSU 88.3 FM, The Buzz. I'm Ryan Addio, alongside my great co-host, as always, James, Derek, and we've took a little bit of a hiatus. There's nothing happening in the off season. Nothing has happened.
Yeah, you could say that. Hiatus has been taken. Vacation has been taken as well.
Yeah. Did we record after that?
Did we record? Oh, after vacation? Spring break?
Yes. I think we might have had one episode in there.
Yeah, I think we threw one in there. We got back on the radio waves, but everyone out there has been without field goals and forecasts for a little bit.
And that's really okay. I mean, I don't know how much people really want to hear football right now, but especially if you're a Bills fan, nothing has happened. The most recent Bills news is that Josh Allen gave birth to his baby daughter, which, congratulations, first of all.
Josh Allen gave birth to his daughter?
Josh Allen.
Holy cow. What can't this guy do? Holy cow.
Josh Allen now has a baby daughter. Thank you for that, James. I appreciate the grammar correction there.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, Haley Steinfeld, now have a daughter. That's the newest Bills news, and
that's
it came in was that early April 1st, and that was it.
Wait, born April 1st?
I think around there.
Was that the actual date? Because if it was April 1st, I mean, what a hilarious birthday. You get April Fool's Day. It's like, happy birthday, April Fools,
April 2nd.
Oh.
April 2nd. We missed it by a day.
Okay. Well, do you want to start talking about football now?
Well, that was football. No. April 2nd. The most recent Bills signing came in mid-March. That was Lloyd Cushenberry, I believe. Whatever.
Sure.
The most notable recent off-season signing was Kirk Cousins to the Raiders on another large deal. Kirk gets away with it again. I think he has the third most career earnings now, something along those lines. Just stupid amount of money. 5 years, $172 million with an opt-out after, I believe, the second year or the third year, somewhere along those lines. I think you bring him in to be your starter week one, have likely Fernando Mendoza sit behind him for a while. I think it's a great idea. No rookie should start day one unless it's absolutely necessary. Yeah. And I think you've seen time and time again that players just develop better when they have time to sit. I feel like that's not nearly crazy.
Sitting behind Kirk isn't the worst thing you can do. However, from a financial standpoint, yes, you are asking yourselves as a Raiders fan, like, what? I mean, okay, $20 million is what's fully guaranteed for the 2026 season, which that's
still a lot.
That's still a lot.
Yeah.
I understand quarterback is important, but like Malik Willis shouldn't be making like barely more than Kirk Cousins. Like, there's a gap there.
Yeah, okay? That is also true.
There's a gap there.
Is it crazy to say I would have just started Aiden O'Connell?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean,
you're not going to win.
You're going to get Mendoza though, so yes. I also understand and can respect this.
You could bring in like Joe Flacco. You could have brought in, I don't know, Russell Wilson if you really wanted to. You could have brought in.
Everyone knows I love Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco. You got to hear me out. I mean, I know Joe Flacco was re-signed by the Bengals, but if you made a push for him in the offseason, that would have been a fine signing, I feel like.
I 100% agree. I wasn't kidding when I said I love Joe Flacco. Yeah, I mean, I have history on the internet of liking Joe Flacco too much.
Correct. That is. We won't go back on to it because they don't like when we talk about it. Especially like
you guys don't like when we talk about it.
You're kind of banned from talking about Bryce Young for a while.
I am.
Yeah.
Even though I went back on my word, kind of. I'm a little spineless like that, but sometimes
that's okay.
You got to change your opinion.
Sometimes opinions change. I mean, that's what happens.
Sometimes I'm persuaded.
Anyway, they could have went and traded with the Panthers like the Eagles did for Andy Dalton. It worked with Bryce Young. I mean, if we're talking about other alternatives to a $20 million Kirk Cousins, I feel like it's not unbelievable.
No, that's not unbelievable. Correct.
Yeah.
I don't really have much to say on that.
Yeah, I mean, Kirk Cousins, it is what it is. I mean, what you're getting out of him, I guess. But anyway, the Falcons, their offensive tackle, Caleb McGarry, retired.
You know what that means.
They signed Juwan Taylor the same day,
yes,
which is very bad.
Ryan, can you give us your raw, authentic reaction to that? No swear words.
Okay. This is a family-friendly radio station because the FCC doesn't allow that, and B, YouTube channel, so I can only say as much as they'll let me. That is probably the worst move the Falcons could have made to replace Caleb McGarry. I think there are like, I honestly would trust any other tackle. I think Jawaan Taylor is one of the worst in the league. Sure, maybe he'll show up next year. We got him pretty cheap, but penalty-wise, I've never seen a player commit more penalties in my life. I think he false started signing the contract. It's just, I don't know. I haven't really liked the moves that the Falcons have made this entire offseason, and this just kind of adds to it. But I'm not a fan of Jawaan Taylor at all.
You know what? You're hating because you thought it was notable to bring up the fact that Josh Allen had, his baby girl in April. You know who else had a baby girl in April? Jawaan Taylor.
Did you look that up?
April 14th.
How do you did you just look up facts about Jawaan Taylor?
How can you hate Jawaan Taylor when he is welcoming? No, I'm just kidding. That's actually not true.
Oh, you completely gaslit me. Okay, cool. I'm still on the hate train then. I was still on the hate train despite if he had a kid or not. I'm not going to lie, but that was good.
Yeah, I got you. You like that?
Oh, 100% you got me. Hey, congrats, Jawaan Taylor. For really nothing. I just am not a fan. I'm sorry.
No, and that's okay. He's been one of the worst for a while.
There's so much tape to back it up.
He might be a nice guy.
I'm sure he is. Speaking of the Chiefs, kind of, they signed Kyer Elam.
That's a win. That's a win in everyone's book.
That's so much fun. That's awesome. That is so cool to hear.
How could they watch what he did against them and then say, you know what? We got to sign this guy.
Dude, Trent McDuffie, Kyer Elam.
Is that what's plugging the hole right now? Was that the next corner that they acquired? Yeah,
unless they go and draft one. They could, we're going to talk more about the draft in not too long, but they could, they could get Mansour Delane.
They're on the path that I want them to be on right now, the Kansas City Chiefs. They are choosing the right things.
Yes.
Path chosen.
And then, I'm so serious, there's nothing else to talk about. The Titans signed Hendon Hooker. That was just a plug for the interview. Go watch it now on the WSPU YouTube channel.
He's super nice.
Yeah, he was a great guy.
Very charitable guy.
Yeah. But now he plays for the Titans. He's Cam Ward's backup. That's not too bad of a job. Next up, I'm going to probably put this graphic on the screen, hopefully, if I don't forget. They just dropped, I think this is from DraftKings.
Yes.
This is the 2026 win total over-under spread. I'll go down the list as best as I can for those listening. So 11.5, they have Baltimore and the Rams, the LA Rams, at the top.
I am a little surprised to see Baltimore that high.
is they didn't even make the playoffs this year, but I guess Vegas has high hopes for them. 10.5, we got a whole slew of teams here. It's Buffalo, Detroit, Green Bay, Kansas City, the Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers, Philadelphia, Seattle Seahawks, San Francisco, and that's it for 10.5. 9.5, there's a lot as well. That's Chicago, Cincinnati, Denver, Houston, Jacksonville, New England. 8.5 is Dallas, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay. 7.5, we got Atlanta, Carolina, Indianapolis, New Orleans, New York Giants, Washington, and 6.5, Cleveland, Tennessee, and then 5.5, Vegas, and the New York Jets, and then 4.5 at the very bottom, the Arizona Cardinals and the Miami Dolphins.
Bottom of the barrel.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Fair enough. But which of these would you take, whether it be under or over, for, if you were to put together, for some reason, a parlay or write down right now saying, yeah, I think this team could go over or under their win total, which one would you take? I've got 5 here, but
I've got 5 as well. Do you want to go all 5 in a row, or do you want to bounce one?
We'll go back and forth, I think. Right. I'll start with this. I think the Detroit Lions will go over their 10.5 mark. They didn't make the playoffs this year, but take a look at their schedule. I'm going to pull it up really quick. Obviously they don't have the schedule yet, but they have their opponents. It's bad. It's really, really bad.
Just not anyone great.
Yeah, I was taking a look at it. It's obviously, Minnesota, Green Bay, and the Bears. Obviously.
The Lions had a tough schedule last year. They probably just saw what the Patriots did, and they're like, we got to do that.
I'm looking at this right now. New Orleans, Tampa Bay, New England, whatever. The Jets, the Titans, the Giants.
Fantastic. Wow.
The Falcons, Buffalo, Carolina, Miami, Arizona.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think it can get much worse than that.
As a Lions fan, if you don't hit over 10.5 wins this season, something's gone wrong. You've lost to a very bad team. That is literally what that means.
Or you lost all of your divisional games. I don't think that's possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I think Detroit will go over that 10.5 mark. I would have put them up there 11.5 with the Rams and the Ravens, honestly. But
yeah, I don't hate that one. For me, I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills over 10.5.
Okay.
I think there's a little bit too much, maybe just surrounding the uncertainty of a new coach.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. For the Bills not to go over 10.5, that would mean they go under 10.5, which would mean they're 10-7, 10 and 7. That's just not a record I would ever see Buffalo having. Point.
I mean, you played Miami and New York twice
in the
4 times, I guess.
You're in the AFC East.
Yeah, and I mean, it's New England. Yes, they're good. They're better. I mean, they're still not. You're splitting that
exactly
at
least. Yeah.
I think that's fair. I can't see them going. I can see them being either at 10, but I can't see them going under 10.
Agreed.
Next up, Denver sitting at 9.5 on the win total. They were the 1 seed in the AFC this year.
Yeah.
And I don't think they got worse. I think they got better. I would take them going over 9.5 pretty easily. I think they can go 10 or 11 at least.
Yeah, I don't even see need for more discussion around that. I think 9.5 is way too low.
I haven't looked at their schedule. I'm sure it's a little bit more difficult. But again, they're a very good team at the end of the day.
I'm going to say my next team, as long as they stay away from injuries and they draft well.
This is a risky call.
The only reason I'm looking at it is because it is heavily favored as opposed to the under. Give me the Cowboys over 8.5 wins. I'm not saying they go 10 or 11 or anything crazy. I'm saying they do the bare minimum and go over 8.5.
9 is a very reachable goal.
Seriously, they should have reached 9 last season even. If it wasn't for a couple games that they just completely sold. So,
honestly, you could make an argument for almost all of these teams.
I've got some unders too. Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
I'll do my next under. Yeah, Kansas City sitting at 10.5. I'm smashing that under. That team is so poorly constructed. Yeah. I know they have Patrick Mahomes. He's not starting week 1. So it'll be Justin Fields. So that's already like maybe 1 or 2 losses depending on where they start the season. I'm taking that under. I think probably, the Raiders are going to get better. The Chargers are good. And the Broncos are very good. That's a tough division. I don't know. I feel like that's a fair call.
I really like that. And they swapped offensive Jawan Taylor for defensive Jawan Taylor and Kyer Elam. So it's like they don't even get rid of it. They did a good job replacing the poor talent.
Who's in their secondary right now? Like, honestly,
You want names?
I know team. Like, I know teams. I can't tell you who's in the secondary for them.
We don't have time for that.
Yeah. I genuinely don't think that there's anyone back there. I'm also going to take another under here. The Steelers sitting at 8.5. What are they doing there? Mike Tomlin's gone. No. They're not going to have a winning season.
This is like a rebuilding year.
Yeah. Who is their quarterback right now? Do we know? Is it Will Howard?
I hope not.
Like, sitting at 8.5 is kind of crazy. Yeah, I would have put them way down there with like Cleveland, Tennessee. But
I'm gonna show my 2 unders right here as well. The Ravens total is at 11.5, and I pointed that out almost immediately. Just from a value standpoint, a team that didn't make the playoffs is now listed as one of the top teams in the entire NFL in terms of wins over under. I'm going to take the under every time. It's also heavily favored. Same thing with that Cowboys pick. Mm-hmm. And I just think 11 wins and you're still at the under. I think that's fine. Yeah, you know what I mean?
11.
You can afford for Baltimore. You can bet against them and they can still win 11 games.
Does a first-year head coach really come in and win 12 or more games?
I don't think so.
I know you're going to say the Patriots, but like that is a very rare case. I don't think that that's going to happen again. I mean, look, it could. The Ravens are uber talented, but 11 wins is a lot. You are right. I mean, 12 wins even at that. Yeah,
precisely. And my next team just didn't get much better unless they draft extremely well again, which I don't know if I have the faith in this organization to do that. The Cleveland Browns under 6.5. I mean, you're still going to have either Gabriel or Sanders playing quarterback.
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders.
Probably Shedeur.
The defense, just gets a little bit worse every year, with the regression of players and some guys leaving. I don't know, unless they draft another Carson Schwessinger or, some other guy who's going to play well immediately. I don't foresee them getting any better than 6.5. I mean, come on. 6 wins you'd be like, oh, what a successful season for this team.
Even at pick 6, there's no one they could go with where I'd be like, yeah, organization's turned around.
There's no wide receiver room in Cleveland right now.
Yeah. And, I mean, you're looking at teams before you like the Giants who could definitely take another receiver. I mean, it's not the top of their need list, but I think they could easily take another receiver. They let go of Wan'Dale Robinson. So you get the second picking of a receiver. You need a lot more than that, though. I feel like that's a fair call. I don't think they're going to hit 7 wins.
No.
Not in their division, too. Yeah. And my final call here, call me biased. I think the Falcons can at least get to 8 wins. Over 7.5. 8 wins is a fair amount.
I don't know.
They've been 8-9 the last 3 out of the 4 years.
Yeah.
And then the only year they were 9-8. When is the last time you've really seen them go under 8 wins? I mean, they might at least get to 8 again.
I like your point. I was perusing DraftKings and noticed that is plus money to go over 8.5. But hey, not all the favored ones are going to hit. That's just not how it works. That's why it's hard.
I personally can't bet, but if there's a betting man out there listening,
I'm probably not going to bet on any of these. I'm no good. But
just like a giant slip, like every single team, they're over and under.
Yeah. My last team, I'm just going to say Tennessee Titans. They're building something over there. Take them over 6.5. I think I can see them gathering 7 wins. However, that one's also a little dicey. You could also see them getting 4 wins and really not improving by that much. So,
and also the Raiders sitting at 5.5. I could see them going over that as well.
That one was
a young team.
That was also something I looked at. They were favored as well.
Indy at 7.5 is an interest. They're all interesting. I could pick apart every single one of these. I can't sit on it for too long.
Yeah.
But let's move on to some draft stuff. The draft is in 2 weeks now. It is the 14th when we're recording this, 15th when it's posted on YouTube. The 23rd is the draft. I believe it
is.
So we're about, I can't do math that quick, 8 days ish away from the draft.
Depending on when you see this. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go position by position for most of the positions, and do our top 5s. I think that's fair. We'll start with the quarterback, which, let me say, if Mendoza isn't one on anybody's list, you're just incorrect.
You just haven't been listening or watching or anything.
You're just, you follow one guy, and that's Dan Orlovsky. And that is the only person you've ever listened to. It's got to be Mendoza at 1. I think Ty Simpson at 2 even is a fair call. But the difference between 1 and 2 here is very, very, it's a large gap.
Yeah, there's a gap.
I would go to say that Mendoza should be the only quarterback drafted in the first round. And I feel like that's not crazy. Ty Simpson, to me, is not a first-round pick. Will he go in the first round?
Of course.
Likely. But should he? No. And then our 3 is different. 3, 4, and 5 is all different because, hey,
let's get some variety, It
goes 1, 2, and then, 3, 4, and 5 is way down there.
Yeah,
I'm not off the camera by then, but you understand the point.
Let's talk about some guys that we have similar, just in different spots. So we both have Garrett Nussmeier. I have him at 4. You have him at 3. Fine.
It doesn't matter.
And then, I don't know. Again, it can't really get excited about these guys because, again, the gap. Someone I'm kind of excited about who I had at my 3, Cole Payton, NDSU.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He kind of reminds me of a Josh Allen here and there, a smaller school.
NDSU scares me, though.
That's the one problem is NDSU. How much does that scare you? I don't know. The one thing I will say is it had in one of his bios, it was like built like a running back, but has the arm strength to make 40-plus yard throws downfield. That's really all I need to see.
Yeah.
If you really want a project, I feel like you're better off taking him than Garrett Nussmeier, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like you're pretty spot on about that. Honestly, I have him at 4, so it's not
much of a disagreement.
Different, or no, actually, I do have him at I don't know. My list is all messed up. I can't even
formatting's off.
I'll go with him at 4. But yeah, he I thought he was good, like you said, a project, but like it's just the NDSU quarterbacks, man. They scare me. I have Carson Beck in here somewhere too. I think he's 5, and then I have a couple honorable mentions.
I have an honorable mention in Carson Beck, and then my 5 right over Carson Beck.
This surprises me.
I tossed Cade Klubnik up there because I don't know, nothing really matters.
The problem is every time I watch Cade Klubnik, I go, "Wow, he's just not very good."
Also, just scrambles an awful lot. Yeah.
So that's my only problem with him.
I don't know. That kind of paints the picture for these quarterbacks that are available right now.
If you want to talk about project as well, Taylon Green from Arkansas, huge. He is like Anthony Richardson, except without the hype.
Okay.
Again,
no hype.
Big project. If you take a risk on him, I don't know how many teams are willing to take a risk or even willing to draft him. But you got a fun player on your hands at least. And then I also have Drew Aller in there, but I'm not I would
don't even ask me about Drew.
That's
Aller.
a really far honorable mention. If he goes anywhere in like the first 3 rounds, I would be shocked. Again, every time I turn on a Penn State game, I'm like, wow, he's just not good. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. You want to move on to wide receivers?
Yeah, let's go to receivers. My one, I think, is very. I'm very like. Wide receiver is probably the position I'm most informed about.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm going to go with Jordan Tyson from Arizona State. I think he's my clear-cut one, at least.
Yeah, and I want to preface one thing. I noticed, I see who Ryan's going to say prior to these shows. Yeah. I just wanted to shed some light on some different guys. I agree, Jordan Tyson, he's top 3 wide receiver in this draft, but I want to shed some light on some other guys. But first, got to get the main ones out the way. Makai Lemon out of USC. Elite route runner.
The top.
Intelligent is what they say.
Yeah.
I like intelligence, Ryan. You better be smart.
I don't have my phone because it's up there, but I have notes on these guys. I just don't have them with me. I'm sorry.
Ryan.
I should have. So what about, like, I guess, is Makai Lemon your 1?
He is my 1.
Okay.
Do you have a problem with that? I mean, I feel like
I feel like
you're going to have elite speed, route running, intelligence, build.
See, man, I'm more worried about getting flamed. I'm not huge on Carnell Tate from Ohio State.
I'm not.
Again,
really
it's an Ohio State receiver. I'm just not huge on him like the others. I would put him at 3. I think I'm going to move Makai Lemon up to 2. I think he's more explosive.
Okay. My next guy, I mean, come on. You got to look at Omar Cooper Jr.
I like him.
Out of Indiana. I mean, talk about him. He had, Mendoza throwing to him. He's part of one of the best offenses.
That's my biggest thing with him. Yes. He had a great quarterback.
But here's what I'll say. He played outside the year prior to last year and led the league, or led college in yards per reception. Over 20 yards per reception.
Interesting.
And then went into the slot and was tied for 3rd in touchdowns. He can produce wherever you want him to. Yeah. I think that's a big thing to look at.
And that's my problem with Carnell Tate, actually. And I'll get more into that later, but just not a slot guy. Pure boundary receiver. And that scares me. If you don't get him with a good quarterback, let's say he goes to Cleveland at 6, it's over. I can't see him producing there.
I'm so sorry, Carnell Tate.
I mean, it is Cleveland, but yeah, not the point. And then at 5, I have Denzel Boston from Washington. He's a physical receiver. He's big. He's built. I have more notes on these guys far away. He's good hands. He's a good route runner, physical, good body control, everything you want out of a receiver. I guess his top speed is a little bit lower than people think. He's a great contested catcher, probably the greatest contested catcher in college this year. I might have just pulled that out, but that's why he's at my 5. A reasonable pick for, let's say, the Buffalo Bills at 26. I think that's a fair pick. I mean, I wouldn't do it personally, but I could see it happening.
I actually have a better pick for the Bills up there, but I will get to that in a second.
Okay.
Casey Concepcion, Texas A&M.
From Rochester.
Elite route runner. And hey, if there's one thing that matters more than your ability to jump or run fast even, or catch balls in general, you better be able to run routes.
Yes.
And that's something that I feel like you got to value almost a little bit more with these guys coming out of school.
Oh.
But something interesting about him, this is just kind of stupid. Why is he listed at 5'12"? That's not a height.
Is he really?
On NFL.com, you're looking at this guy's draft profile.
Let me look at this.
Casey Concepcion is listed at 5'12". Is that
good.
just like a height measurement that they use for guys that are like just under 6 foot? Like, is that a thing?
He's 6'1". It says 6 foot here. I don't know where you're looking.
I mean, I'll show you. Do you want to see?
No, I believe you.
It says 5'12". He's 5'12".
Yeah, look at that. That's
funny. That's a funny little thing right there.
Yeah, 5'12" or 6 foot.
Or 6 foot, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyways, Ryan.
He was born in Rochester. Let me make that clear. But he moved to Charlotte at age 3. And everyone's like, oh, well, he's born in Rochester. He's got to come to Buffalo.
It's like he doesn't remember Rochester.
No, that's just not how that works. I would think I went through all 5 of mine. I have Omar Cooper at 4, Denzel Boston at 5, Mekhi Lemon 3. Well, Mekhi Lemon 2, Carnell Tate 3, Jordan Tyson 1.
All right. I don't know how, but I have 2 left. Chris Brazzell, the second, Tennessee, 6'4", 200 pounds, big body. He's got control over it too, long strides, outside playmaker.
Yeah.
That just sounds so attractive. I don't know, to anyone looking for a wide receiver. And then last, this is who I think, if he does fall to the Bills, he fits the scheme perfectly, especially with Joe Brady staying. Zachariah Branch out of UGA. He's a big slot guy. He's got speed, and he was used behind the line of scrimmage more than anyone else in college football last year. That's exactly what we could use from him. And you know what? We love using those decoy screens too. He'd be perfect, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm going to talk more about him later for sure.
I know you will, yeah.
But, you know, I'll get into that later. You don't have Carnell Tate top 5.
I think he is a guy that's top 5. I just kind of wanted to mention these guys' names before that, because Carnell Tate, I think, is kind of the far and away expected first wide receiver off the board, in my opinion. You know. So maybe you wouldn't even call mine a top 5 as much as 5 guys I like.
Sorry. Not a first round pick probably, but Chris Bell from Louisville.
Hey man, don't talk about him too much. I love Chris Bell.
All right. Yeah, you get into it later. I didn't even see that. Never mind then. Let's get into running backs then. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Again, it's a 1 and then it's a drop off from there. Personally. Yeah. Jeremiah Love, 1. I mean, that's easily clear. He could easily be a top 5 pick. I think he will. I'm a big fan of Katron Allen from Penn State. I watched a lot of him this year, considering my roommate's a Penn State fan. So I got to see him quite often. I was like, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with him too. I have no real reason for that. I just, other than I saw him, thought he played well.
You know what? Jeremiah Love, of course, 1. I'm going to go with Katron Allen's counterpart, Nicholas Singleton. I think Penn State's got a pair of good running backs, but the most attractive thing for me is a 97.99 athleticism score on NFL.com. You know, how do you not like athleticism?
Yeah, no, fair.
You do.
You can't. Once a guy, you can draft an athletic guy and teach him fundamentals. You can't draft a non-athletic guy and make him athletic.
See?
Think about that.
Important.
Next up, I've got Jadarian Price from Notre Dame. I'm just going to go through my 5. I don't really have much to say about most of them. Emmett Johnson from Nebraska and Mike Washington Jr. could be a sleeper from Arkansas. He's kind of fun. He's kind of fun to watch.
I agree with you 100% on 2 guys. Mike Washington Jr., you know, a 6'1" running back you're always going to like.
That's what I'm saying.
Especially if he's athletic, 95 athleticism score there. And then Jadarian Price, you know, played alongside Jeremiah Love. He's a great pass catcher, and he's kind of the bowling ball to, you know, he's the thunder to the Jeremiah Love Lightning. And then lastly, Adam Randall from Clemson. He's a former wide receiver. He has some home run potential there. I think he could play RB2 for a team next year because he's such a good pass catcher that, you know, he'd be that receiving back in a backfield.
Again, fun. I mean, that's kind of what you're going to get in those late rounds. Let's go into defensive ends or outside linebackers, whatever you classify them as. I think Arvell Reese is easily the one.
He's the best prospect in this draft.
Yes, absolutely. And then David Bailey from Texas Tech, I think, is 2.
I also have David Bailey there, so don't even want to waste anybody's time.
And we also have Ruben Bain. 3. I think that's your 1, 2, 3, pretty solid. Not in that order all the time, but those are your top 3 at least.
For this position group, like, I know stats don't tell everything, but just from a grading standpoint, you'd see what these guys go through with the combine, and these professionals grade them. It's like you got the three that are clumped together up at the top, and then there is a gap, and then there's the rest of the guys, which of course they're all still very good.
Good, yeah. Keldrick Falk from Auburn is my 4. Again, there is a gap in between, but still could be a first-round pick, I think.
Yeah. Do you want to just finish yours off? I'll rip off my last two.
Akeem Mesidor played on the outside, on the opposite side of Ruben Bain at Miami. I've seen him get off the edge like in an instant, but he is a little undersized for a defensive end. That's all I'll say.
My final 2, I've got Malachi Lawrence out of UCF. He might be the best athlete at edge, maybe besides Arvil Reese. He just lacks consistency in run support because he's not the heaviest guy, but he's 6'4", 253. He's explosive with a quote-unquote deep bag of moves, which is always very important if you're going to try to pressure the quarterback. And then lastly, Zion Young out of Mizzou, 6'6", 262-pound block destroyer is what they said about him. Hey man,
if that's what you're getting said about you, fair enough.
So he's not the great at getting to the quarterback, but he could even be a guy that kind of switches to defensive tackle once he gets to the NFL. Heavy guy, but hey, he's great in the run game.
I have seen a lot about him actually. I won't lie to you. And then our final thing, just for time's sake and also, knowledge sake, let's do DB's corners basically. Mansour Delane is the number 1 corner, I think, in the draft. He had a let me look up his combine profile really quick, just because his combine grade is like unbelievably high.
For compared to the rest of the corners, right. Yes, he graded up at a 6.77.
Yeah, 6.77 is really good.
The next closest guy is 6.4 something. Yeah. 6.4.
So take that as you will. And then I have Avion Terrell as my 2, which
I agree.
People might not agree with, but
there's concerns with the speed. There is the problem. And, the tape is good. You've seen what he can do, but you saw him run at the combine, and a lot of people were left saying, "I wish he could have ran
a little small. He's a little bit undersized. That's the only other thing. You put him in the slot, he's going to be outstanding."
Yeah.
And then I have Jermod McCoy from Tennessee.
I have him as my 5th best. Yeah. So we can talk about him. I just think he kind of slid down for me. He's got injury history.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, that's really the only downside. And then I have another Tennessee corner right after that, Colton Hood. I really like him. I think if he goes to the right team, he could make a huge impact. A lot of people even having him like 1 or 2 on their rankings. He just has so much upside, but the floor is low as well.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I agree with that sentiment on Hood. I had him as my 3rd best. I feel like Hood and McCoy are so similar out of Tennessee in terms of their overall skill that Hood just seemed better to me without the injury history as opposed to McCoy. In between those 2 at 4, I took Chris Johnson out of San Diego State University. He's got some scheme versatility, right? He can play really anywhere. He's very disciplined, and what I like to see, he's a tenacious tackler. He's also not a small guy for a corner. He's 6 feet tall, almost 200 pounds. I like that, Chris Johnson.
I have him off my list, but I have Brandon Cisse, Cisse. I don't want to mispronounce that, but I don't also want to call him Sissy and mess that up.
Maybe Cisse.
Cisse from USC. He's a tall guy, lanky, has a long wingspan, and he's also very athletic. I think he jumps the ball as well, and I think that's where the problem lies, is if you can kind of train that up a bit, kind of get his decision-making skill up there better. Or I'm sorry, not USC, South Carolina.
Well,
I just had USC on here.
Yeah,
my fault.
I was gonna correct you if you didn't, because I was like, he's from South Carolina, but it is the University of South Carolina, or is it South Carolina University? Whatever, doesn't matter.
You can't have 2 USCs, okay? Anyway, that will do it for our top 5. Let us know if you agree in the comments below, and we'll see, what pans out, in about a year's time. So we'll come back to this and be like, wow, we weren't even close.
Or if you like really want to grade us truly, we'll come back and see how this did in about 10 years. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Even better. And then we've got one more thing making its return from last year. Let's go draft busts and diamonds in the rough. That's going to be our extra point. Let's start with the draft busts because I think that's more controversial at least. And I talked about it earlier. I was going to talk about Carnell Tate. He's in my bust category. Let's just say lower expectations. We like to say that a lot here.
Temper.
The problem is he is a pure boundary receiver. He did not play in the slot at all. Like, okay, sometimes, but not very often. He's terrible in the yards after catch margin. He was 130th to 140th overall in the nation in yards after catch. He catches the ball. You watch any of his tape. He catches the ball. He is down immediately. He's tackled. He has a very low top speed. I don't want to say low top speed because these guys could easily outrun me, but he lacks top speed. He's a kind of a mid route runner, honestly. He's just really inconsistent. And if he goes to a poor team that can't utilize him as a pure boundary receiver, it is not going to work.
All right.
Scares me.
I'll hear you out on that one.
But he's from Ohio State, so everything I could say could be completely wrong. So.
That too. They've had a couple decent receivers come out of Ohio State.
Decent is one way to put it.
Sure. My first bust that I want to touch on is Drew Aller, Penn State.
Yeah. Is it a bust if he
goes
even
a bust? That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Is it even a bust if he goes in the 6th round? I guess not. But I think, I don't know. Should he be undrafted? I don't know either. I think he's closer to being undrafted than even getting picked. But apparently, according to NFL execs, footwork is an absolute mess. He has some bad missed throws and also fractured his ankle this year. And also just didn't have a good situation at Penn State. I think this was funny too, though, because I think this is like a duh kind of thing. Some NFL execs think he could flourish in a Kubiak-style system. Really? The Super Bowl champions, you mean?
Yeah.
Like, what? No way.
Some execs think that if he had the arm talent and the mobility of Josh Allen, he could be successful.
Yeah. Yeah. That's groundbreaking. Good. Thank you, everybody. But no, from the couple of games that I watched with Drew Aller, I'm not going to pretend like I watched him intently. There's just too many bad missed throws that aren't all that far down the field. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, hey, I wouldn't pick him.
This is going to be another controversial one, but I'm not a big fan of Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon.
I saw him high up on some boards.
He's good. Let me make that very clear. He is extremely athletic, but if he's not put in the right system, Kyle Pitts scares me. Not a Kyle Pitts kind of guy. He's 6'3". That is undersized for a tight end. 6'3", 245. He's basically just a physical receiver who blocks really well and plays tight end. Like you're getting another receiver basically.
Well, yeah.
Sometimes that's good, but again, has to be utilized correctly.
Depends on how he's used. It reminds me a lot, because I'm from Syracuse, of course, of Arande Gadsden on the Chargers now. So again, decent blocker because he's big, but other than that,
if you want him to be like a 6th offensive lineman, he's 6'3". I mean, let's say he goes to Baltimore, for example. They need a tight end. If he has to block Myles Garrett, even on a double team, I just don't see it happening.
Myles Garrett's just going to like push him away with his pinky.
Yeah, I just don't see it happening. That's what I mean by utilized correctly. If he goes to the wrong team, I can't see it working out.
Yeah. My next guy, I want to dig in a little bit on Caden Proctor, the offensive tackle out of Alabama. Okay. He's a 6'7", 352-pound monster, but weighed about 400 pounds as a freshman. Actually, by the beginning of the season, I don't know if this was this year or the year prior, he was around 390 pounds. So, if he's on Weight Watchers, he should be okay.
Excellent analysis, James.
But if Caden Proctor gets drafted, I mean, come on, like what if he goes somewhere down south? They got some good barbecue.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting a call. Ozempic?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, maybe not that much. He needs to keep the weight. All right, he is an offensive lineman. But, just make sure he's eating right down there.
He's got to go to a team with a good dietitian.
Yes, and he needs to be on top of it because otherwise he is a athletic freak of nature. I think he could potentially play well. He's one of the top offensive tackles in the entire draft.
Even at 380, 390, the fact that he moves the way that he does is unreal.
Yeah, but he might be a little too slow for NFL level edge rushers.
If we're talking about offensive tackle, I'm going to go to the other kind of top offensive tackle at least. Monroe Freeling from Georgia. I've heard a lot of bad things.
He's been falling.
He has been falling, but also he spiked out of nowhere. I heard nothing about him before the draft. Boom. He's a top 15 pick. And then I'm like, let me go watch. He's just getting swim moved after swim moved after swim moved right on the inside. He doesn't use his hands really well. He can't get inside. Just not a fan of his.
I will say, and I didn't even realize, I didn't know much about him until I talked with our good friends at Outback to End Zone.
Okay.
Over in Australia. You got to plug them a little bit. They're cool. And he was saying, I wouldn't mind if Cleveland, his favorite team's Cleveland. I wouldn't mind if they took Freeling with one of their first picks. And at the time, I was checking some mock drafts. He was projected to go that high. Now, I think mocks even have him as low as like late first round. So, it's like a guy who spiked up out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden he's back down the draft board a little bit.
I could see him going, 24 would even be fine, but
it's weird. He's had a weird pre-draft here. Yeah. It's kind of the vibes. His aura is all over the place. I
don't think he's gonna do that well in the NFL. That's kind of where I'm at. Like his blocking works really well in college, but when the transition to the NFL comes, where the top guy in college is like a normal dude in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like. When he has to play these elite edge rushers, let's say he does go to Cleveland.
If he's stacked up against Will Anderson,
TJ Watt, twice a year, TJ Watt. Now you've got Trey Hendrickson twice a year. And why am I forgetting the other team in the division? Oh, the Bengals. Yeah, they got nobody.
That's Shamar Stewart.
No. Oh, Shamar Stewart. Why didn't I think about that? Yeah, sure.
My last potential bust, and I say potential bust because this guy is good. Akeem Mesidor, edge rusher out of Miami. Yes, he was top 5 in sacks, tackles for loss, pressures. But he was also playing across from Ruben Bain, who did a lot of wreckage himself. It's going to get a little bit easier. I do understand. I think he would have played well without that. But he doesn't have very long arms. You like that out of a edge rusher.
You could actually say that about both Miami.
That is
rushers,
true. Yeah. But he was also a man amongst boys. He turns 25 right after the draft.
Wow.
Draft. 25.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that. Yeah.
He's also had some injury problems. He had a foot injury that sidelined him for the entire year in 2023, and then a separate issue in 2025 also with the foot. If you're 25 or 24, I guess, for this season, you're probably going to play better if the offensive tackle trying to block you is 20.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, no,
you're going to be a little further along athletically. Yeah. He's probably, in my opinion, at his peak now.
That's true.
How much better does he get after being drafted? I'm not sure.
If this was Madden, he'd be at a normal
dev trait. Yeah,
as high as he can,
or slow.
Yeah.
But
I have one more. Ty Simpson, because I know some team is going to reach for him in the first round, and it's not going to be worth it. Kenny Pickett style. Just don't do it, man. Just don't do it. I don't know who's going to do it. But it's going to be someone. I can just feel it. I just know that there's going to be another quarterback in the first round. But let's get into the other side of the spectrum, the diamonds in the rough. We'll kind of breeze through this a little bit. But, just some guys that might be drafted late that could really just pop up out of nowhere. And I'll start with Zachariah Branch, who you mentioned earlier. Could be a Verge first-round pick. Don't think he will. He measures in at about 5'9", 5'10", 177. He's extremely fast, has really good hands, is a gadget guy to the extreme, perfect slot, perfect screen guy, has no other route tree. That is the downside with him, is his route tree is very limited.
Yeah. But he, all the reason to believe that he could be utilized in any facet, to be honest.
That's what I said about Emeka Egbuka as well before the season. So
yeah, and look at the routes he runs. It's plenty, Here's your boy, Chris Bell, Louisville.
There it is.
Noted as a boom or bust prospect. He's coming off an ACL injury.
That's
But it's 6'2", 220-pound receiver with good speed. He is noted as a little inconsistent, all right, but overall, good route runner, doesn't drop any passes, can play kind of anywhere. And he had a 3-week stretch where he won ACC Receiver of the Week 3 straight times, 31 receptions, 441 yards, 5 touchdowns in those 3 games. So over 100 yards, over 10 catches, over a touchdown a game. So he's a guy who can kind of take over.
Yeah.
Could be a diamond in the rough because he's going to slide down those boards with that ACL injury.
Yeah, where do you see him going? Like second, third round?
I don't know. We thought Will Johnson was going to be a first-round pick last year, and we saw what happened with his knee concerns, quote unquote, whatever actually happened.
And he played more games than Max Harrison anyway. So
exactly. Yeah. So, I don't know how teams are going to react. Is he going to be second, third, fourth? I have no idea. All I know is he's not going to be a first-round pick. Might not even be a second. That's why he's a diamond in the rough.
Bills don't have a second-round pick, but they do have a third. If he falls there, I would take the risk on him personally. Mm-hmm. Will it happen? Probably not.
No.
But next up, I have Jadon Kennedy from Oregon, the nickel corner. He's 5'11", 185, the 12th ranked corner nationally by PFF. Very, very over-aggressive. Another one of those guys that is going to go for every single ball. But he's extremely high motor, high floor, but a possible low ceiling. Kind of reminds me of like a ceiling Jalen Petrie kind of guy, like a really solid nickel corner.
All right. I've got a nickel corner for you. You ready?
This is
D'Angelo Ponce.
Yeah, the definition.
Out of Indiana. Literally all of the tools to be productive in the NFL. Not just productive, but very good. He's got slide quickness, eye discipline. He's got great instincts, trigger quickness, all propel him with catch disruption. But he doesn't have any size.
Yeah.
Poor D'Angelo Ponce. He's like 5'9".
He's 5'9".
Yeah, 5'9". Not the longest arms, but even though he won't be a first-round pick, he might even be, he might be a day 2 guy. I think a team drafts him, puts him at nickel corner, and he starts right away. Yeah. I think he's that good there. He could start right away.
I mean, one of the best nickel corners in the league, Cooper DeJean, was taken in the second round. Pretty early, pick 40. I could see a similar situation if he goes to the right team, of course. And then my final one here, linebacker out of LSU, Harold Perkins. He had an injury in his junior year, I believe. Not last year, but the year before that. The year before that, which we're going way back at this point, unbelievably productive. He has all the talent. He just had that injury, had a little bit of an off year this year. Teams could take a risk on him late, develop him for a couple of years. I think he'd be a great outside linebacker or interior linebacker, like off ball. Off ball guy. Sorry, I had off ball and on ball confused. It is what it is,
Yeah, I often get my balls confused. Anyways, Jeff Caldwell out of Cincinnati. There's not much really going in his favor. I'm not going to lie. Jeff, all right? They say he's bad fundamentally. Not good fundamentals when it comes to running routes. And for a player his size at 6'5", they would like to see him catch footballs at a better rate.
Yeah.
But they think that can be coached. The only thing is he has a 99 athleticism score at 6'5", 216 pounds. This is just a monster. Okay?
Yeah.
And I will say he's a senior, all right? He's going to be a little older than most of the receivers already, going earlier. This is a true in the rough kind of diamond. He's very far down on the position ranks for wide receiver. Just got to know, 6'5", 99 athleticism score. Take a chance, maybe. Why not?
I would be happy with any team taking a chance on him. You're right, though. For a guy who's 6'5", you'd like to see him catch the ball more often.
He just really doesn't have.
Really it.
It's like not great hands, not great route runner. If you can teach him both,
if you can teach him how to play football, man, have we got the guy for you. Might transition to the NBA soon.
Yes.
Great athleticism, good, pretty solid size. I mean, whatever. But that will do it for this episode of Field Goals and Forecasts. Let us know what you think about our picks in the description or in the comments below. And we'll see how this plays out in a couple weeks. And we'll have another episode next week with maybe a mock draft. So stay tuned for that next week. We will see you all next week. Go.
You can't say watch some football.
I can't say go watch football. Nothing's happening. Go watch the UFL and
maybe go outside if the weather's getting better.
Yeah, throw the football around and hopefully something happens in the off season. But that will do it for us. Take care.